everyone and welcome to your weekly portion of World of Darkness news. This time we're going to talk about a very broad scale of things, from video games to TT to actual plays of TTRPGs, and a brand new project, which is something brand new that we haven't really done before. Let's start with that and let's go on from there. It is my big pleasure to announce to you our brand new partnership with a company called Explored and the new product, which we're going to talk more about soon, called Vampire the Masquerade Milan Uprising. So what exactly is the Teburu system that Milan Uprising is going to be done on? So Explored is working on smart board games. That's probably the best way to put it, but there are various names for that. There's phygital board games, or basically the multiplayer devices where you can play on the board game at home, but you can connect to people from all over the world and you do not have to have people at your table. The best example for that is going to be probably their current advertised project, which they're kicking off on the Kickstarter quite soon, called The Bad Karmas and the Curse of the Zodiac. So what does it mean to have this sort of a board game in front of you? First of all, you do not have to go for the instruction box and instruction manual before you start playing. You can go start playing from the get-go because the game has a built-in tutorial. So you can just jump in and start playing from the get-go. Second of all, you can interrupt and pause the game at any time. So you don't have to sit through the whole session of a board game with your friends. If something pops up, you don't have to just quit the game and never go back to it. You can pause it and go back to it later. And of course, you can join the players from all over the world connecting to your game in real time on your table, which is pretty cool. So it comes, the project which they've announced so far comes with the digital board game, digital dice, actually physical, but with with the mechanics inside that make it augmented, with the figurines which have really cool LED lighting, and basically everything that you have in front of you is connected to people all over the world, which you can play the game with you. And Vampire the Masquerade Milan Uprising is the first title that they are going to develop in cooperation with us, with World of Darkness and Paradox, and it comes from the team of people that have been role-playing for 25 years, and the same people who have been on Vampire the Masquerade table are currently working together in Explored and are going to bring it to your tables. So I'm super excited to talk more about this project in the future, because it's kind of like bringing the board games to a broad new digital level where I gotta admit, I haven't had the chance personally to play with people in person quite much for the past year or two. I've been using digital platforms like Tabletop Simulator much, but I kind of like to have a board game in front of me at the table. So this is going to be something that is going to both give me that feeling of playing an actual board game, but also allow me to play with people who are maybe not in the same city as I am, maybe not in the same country as I am. And yeah, I really cannot wait to give you more details on particularly Vampire the Masquerade Milan Uprising. But as for now, if you want to check out what Explored has done so far on Teburu, you can check out teburu.net. The link is here down below, or I can also link it down. If you're watching us on YouTube, I believe that this is going to give you a pretty good image of what Milan Uprising is going to be. We are very happy with the developments of this project, and we cannot wait to give you more info soon. As for now, check it out and let us know what you think, and let us know if it's something interesting for you. Check it out. And this is actually a very wide image in here, so I have to get a little bit to the corner of the screen. The format of this image, I guess, is important. I'm not really sure what Jason Carl is planning in there, but Jason has been teasing something very hard on his Twitter recently, and I do believe it is connected with the upcoming actual play New York by Night. Have you watched LA by Night yet? If not, you probably have to. But if you did and you're waiting for something new to come in the actual play world of Vampire the Masquerade, New York by Night is approaching very, very with the very big steps and is very much incoming. So yeah, whatever this image is that Jason shared is probably relevant to it, but in what way, I'll let you guess. By the way, speaking of actual plays, today, or if you're watching us on YouTube, yesterday, is the birthday of Alexander Wirt, who plays Jasper in LA by Night. So do please go to his Twitter and do wish him happy birthday from us, because he's amazing and we all love him. And next, the War of the Apocalypse Heart of the Forest is currently on a pretty big sale, both on Steam and GOG. So if you want to have it DRM free, grab it on GOG.com. If you want to have it on Steam, grab it on Steam. What's more important about Heart of the Forest is that it's probably the best video game preparation you can have for War of the Apocalypse 5th edition, which is upcoming after Hunter. So yeah, Heart of the Forest is the visual novel narrative experience with a lot of mechanics underlying the story. Your choices afflict your rage. Your choices afflict your character sheet, which is built in the mechanics of the game, and make the ending different depending on your choices. We get a lot of very positive reviews of Heart of the Forest. We're super proud of this development team. They did a super great job with this, and I love how it's very original in a style in comparison to all the other visual novels I've ever played in my life. It has a super interesting, brand new art style, which I haven't seen before, and it does convey what we are going for in 5th edition pretty well, so we really recommend you to check it out. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodhunt. I know a lot of you are waiting for it to come, and I am waiting for it so badly to the point I have cravings, but they have given us a little gift for Valentine's. If you watched it without paying a very close attention, it was just a very beautiful character sitting on some kind of a throne, happy Valentine's, very red and bloody sort of a video with not a lot of context except for Valentine's wishes, but some of the people who watched it were looking at it very closely and discovered that below the announcement there was a coded message announcing the upcoming closed PC playtest next month. For those of you who have played Vampire the Masquerade Bloodhunt already, if you were already on board to play it, you will be able to participate in this playtest, which I am extremely excited about because I missed this game so much. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodhunt is coming this spring in full, so you will be able to play it later in the spring, no matter if you played it before or not. This game is going to be free as announced before, and you can jump in anytime and try it out. I recommend it. We had so much fun in the closed alpha and the early access last year. I played this game for over 120 hours, I believe, and it's not enough. I definitely want more, and we are awaiting the new clan which is going to be added this season, which is Ventru. So Ventru is definitely something that I cannot wait to be introduced further. It was already announced on the Bloodhunt streams beforehand that this is going to be the next clan that will be introduced after Toreador, Bruja, and Nosferatu, which are currently in the game. So I can't wait to see how Ventru will play in the game, what will they represent, and what kind of a gameplay will be characteristic to them. So yeah, Bloodhunt coming soon. Cannot wait for the closed PC playtest. I hope you will join me and probably try to find me and Diablerize me as usual, because that's what happens. Yeah, that's it from Sharkmob. And the next updates are from Choice of Games. First of all, if you haven't played Sins of Desire's demo, it is available on Steam right now. The next upcoming Choice of Games title, interactive novel from Choice of Games, will be out this spring. We had an interview with the developer here on the What News. I had so much fun during this interview. So I hope that if you haven't heard it so far, do listen to it and check out the demo, because it's really setting up the mood for the new upcoming game pretty well. But there's also been a new tease from Jim Dattilo, the author of Vampire the Masquerade Out for Blood, a very well-received Choice of Games title about a bunch of hunters, or actually amateur hunters, who are on the track to chase some vampires from their town. And there is a new upcoming patch in development which will contain 455,000 words called True Faith. And well, you can probably imagine what it is going to contain. I am slowly getting afraid for all the vampires which are included in the game, and I really wonder how it's going to work in the practice. I do not know details from Jim just yet, but we need to poke him and ask him what is going to be the usage of the True Faith in Out for Blood. So that's coming pretty soon. And for those of you who are hungry for more music and for more musical projects that we're doing behind the scenes, Vampire the Masquerade Music to Roleplay 2 is going to launch today. If you're watching this on YouTube, it is already launched. It is already out there to watch. This is our second YouTube playlist after Vampire the Masquerade Lo-Fi, which was super well received. People were very happy that we did that, and I've heard that some people listened to it multiple, if not multi-dozen times, which is great. I'm very happy that it was useful for you to relax or to write your characters or chronicles to. This one is different though. Instead of going for lo-fi, which is a little bit less maybe fitting to many role-playing campaigns if you just want to play something in the background, this one is definitely more aimed for people to use while role-playing. Something a little bit more moody, atmospheric, spooky in some places. There's more piano, but there's also more spooky ambiences and guitars that's I think are right now a kind of a staple of Vampire the Masquerade soundtracks especially. So I really hope that you will enjoy this one. It will launch very soon. If you are here watching us on Twitch, we will be having a premiere after this stream. If you're watching us on YouTube, check it out in our library on YouTube, because that's going to be there. If you want more music playlists in the future, if you are looking for something to specifically use during your campaigns, maybe music for specific locations, specific ambiences, maybe for the finale of your campaign or some moments in your campaign which are might be similar across various campaigns, like Elysium or Anarch bars or spooky places, spooky haunted places. Please let me know, because we love doing these. It's super fun to prepare these for you, and we definitely have some more music that would really be fitting to the setting, depending on what you want to do in your actual place, in your TTRPG tables, or maybe just when you're writing stories and when you're writing your own characters. So yeah, let me know, please, what is going to be your dreams regarding this the music projects. And in the meantime, before we're going to go to Vamily Spotlight with Hadi, I want to ask you our weekly community question, which is going to be our new tradition starting from last week. We are every week asking a new question to the community, and this week's question is: what kind of World of Darkness video games would you want to see in the future? Something that hasn't been announced before, hasn't happened before, something that is just on your mind. Whenever you played Vampire the Masquerade, or maybe Mage, or maybe Changeling, or maybe Werewolf or Hunter, some kind of a video game that would be your absolute dream come true. We can't promise that we're going to make all of these happen, but it's definitely going to maybe give us some ideas. So please give us more info on what kind of games you would love to see in the future. And in the meantime, I'm going to join Hadi to talk more about what Vamily was up to this week. Let's check it out. Hello, Hadi. Can you hear me?
Hi, I can.
Perfect. Let me just move very quickly to our Vamily Spotlight and put this beautiful board up on the screen. I need to actually move you in here. Perfect. Great. Do you also, yes, you do have Bloodhunt backgrounds behind you again.
Of course.
I miss Bloodhunt so much. Hadi, help me.
I miss watching you play.
I cannot wait. I am actually very officially planning to, this is like my deadline. I am buying myself a new PC before before Bloodhunt arrives. So definitely I'm going to just wait for the release date and just wait for this big spending.
I can't wait to watch you play again. It was always a really good, late at night watching all of you guys play. It was always a really good time for me.
Oh, that's so nice of you. Yeah, I cannot wait to coterie up with my friends and diablerize some people again. We do have plenty of things this week. I did add a row for myself, if you noticed.
I did, yes.
So we're going to go for them later, but let's start with yours, the illustration.
Yeah, so of course, what was going on this week in the family is a lot of Valentine's Day themed art because
Aww.
Valentine's Day was on Monday. So I thought I would show some of it off, and I really liked this one, especially because of the description for it, not just the kissing.
I didn't have time to draw something especially for today. Capitalist Affection Day. So I made an extremely silly edit to my previous illustration. In case you haven't seen the other one, this is my Bab Logan, right? About to be turned into a vampire with some not safe for work stuff in between. Please enjoy the silliness and don't feel down if you're not into V-Day. I'm sure your sire will be along tonight to make you a vampire. Aww.
Because V-Day really stands for Vampire Day.
I mean, that's
obviously.
true. That's true. Valentine's Day is ultimately the day of everyone who has ever have relationships in roleplay, which is most of us.
Yes.
Yes. Beautiful.
Indeed.
I love this. Okay, Hadi, what was your most memorable in roleplay romance?
Well, as you know, as I've told you many times, I have only actually been a player of Vampire the Masquerade twice.
But have you romanced during those 2 times?
No, not
Oh,
no, because
no.
those were a sort of mini chronicles or for charity.
We need to change that. We need to absolutely change that. But yeah.
I can say that as a storyteller, I flirted with Josh or Gaming FDL so many times it has to count.
That's perfect. But as a storyteller, have you observed any of the in-game relationships blooming?
Yes, between Josh and another character, and I have chronicles coming up that I can't talk about right now that have already relationships working into them. So
That's awesome. I absolutely love going into very messy and horrible relationships in my role plays. Currently, my Finn Blood is in a relationship with another Finn Blood, and they are completely not fitting each other, but they are both Finn Bloods, so they kind of cling to each other. It's a very funny fit of 2 characters, which are just one is my character is of course a disaster. The other character doesn't deserve that disaster, but
a Finn Blood disaster. Get out. Never heard of them.
It's perfect. Chat and people in the comments, please let us know what are your romance stories from Vampire the Masquerade, and what is here. Oh, we have Milan by night. We were talking about Milan plenty today. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So a lot of LARP stuff. I always love to show off LARP stuff, and one of my huge goals since joining the family is to join a LARP at some point or participate in a LARP. But of course, this was in Italian, and I'm like, oh no, I don't speak Italian. I have to reach out to Archon Bon, But then I saw down at the bottom it says Questa e Invictus de W. Henley, and I'm like, oh wait, I know Invictus. I know that poem.
Oh.
So what it actually says is this.
Okay.
So if you want to read it, or I can read it, it's up to you.
Please do read it.
Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. And they are La Sombra, of course.
This is such a vampire poem.
It is, yeah.
In this context especially, it really feels very much vampire. And I love it. I love the image too. It's so cool. Beautiful.
And I do know from Archon Bon, who of course, is moderator everywhere in the family. The Eterna Nox is a big LARP in Italy.
Nice. I am absolutely looking forward to more coverage of this year's LARPing season and more LARPs on the way. So yeah,
I'm so excited for you to go to Saturnalia.
Yes.
And I was like, I think when you first told me, I was like, beignets, you got to get beignets. Someone has to take her to get beignets.
I really want to.
I love New Orleans is beautiful. You're gonna love it.
I cannot wait, and I am just so excited because not only I have never been anywhere near New Orleans, but also it's going to be a super interesting to experience LARPing there. I cannot wait.
I know, I'm so excited.
Okay. Anyway, Casperatu on what is that? A TikTok?
It is.
Okay, let's check it out.
I replace the music. I always replace the music.
All right, let's check it out. I love it. I vibe with this particular yeah, if you can see it on the stream, this is my vibe currently.
Yep.
And also this is like exactly how I roleplay all of my Vampire the Masquerade characters, so I relate.
I know. From the stories that you've told, I know.
We need to roleplay more together. And now I have Vampire the Masquerade brain rounds.
Yep, that's sort of what drew me, because again, there were so many vampire Valentine's related art, but I sort of went for the descriptions because I was like, "There's no way I'm going to be able to put all of them on here."
Yeah.
So I have VTM brain rot, and that just spoke to me immediately because I've had VTM brain rot before,
Same.
where I can't. So where I literally can't stop thinking about something going on with something related to Vampire the Masquerade.
Yes, it's a thing about emotional role playing. Like if you really get into super emotional sessions with extremely cool characters which you like relate to in some way, or you like ship them or you root for them, it's definitely like, because Vampire ultimately breaks your heart a lot, and it's the brain rot happens there. I love that feeling.
So I absolutely encourage romances, with safety in mind
Of
for
course.
people playing in my games, because I think it just adds to the emotional damage, but in a good way. Does that make sense?
I love how you said, because I really recommend it because it adds to emotional damage. But I do agree. Of course, everything, within the rules of consent and making sure that you do not bleed too much. This is like something that I always want to, because I feel like every good role player, maybe not every good role player, but most of the role players out there at some point experienced some sort of a bleed.
Yes.
I'm not, immune to that either. There are moments in the role play which left me super emotional or even sad in real life, and later, like an hour or two after sessions, I still felt sad because of something. But that doesn't mean that it needs to affect you in any negative way. It can be like, a movie or a book or a piece of music which really like pulls the strings of your emotions, and that's beautiful. But please make sure that it's done with the consent with other people at the table, and that your real life relationships do not suffer in any way from your relationships in the game, because people are always more important than the game.
Of course. And if you have all those safety measures in place and you've talked it out with everybody, it really makes it that much better.
That's true.
Because you really can go deeper that way.
Yes. But I love that. I have a lot of feelings about Beck and Bastion. Okay, especially now.
Okay, that gives you, yeah. And so that was sort of my goal, then, is just to sort of look at the hashtags and stuff.
So good. And what do we have here from Sioban?
That's Siobhan.
Siobhan, I'm sorry.
No, I think it's an Irish spelling of the name. And so when I first saw this, so I was sort of, looking for, okay, we've done the lovey-dovey stuff. Let's look for some badass vampires. That was sort of my goal. And I do this throughout the week, because I was still getting so much Valentine's Day stuff. I'm like, I can't just fill the board full of Valentine's Day stuff.
I mean, that's fine, but this
I
is
wanted
great.
a little variety, right?
Yeah.
So when I first saw this one, I was like, oh, look at that Bruja. Such a Bruja. Look at the tats. So awesome. It's not. It's a Toreador.
It is a Toreador. Yes.
Yeah, and I was like, oh no, totally a Toreador, because look at the boots.
Oh yeah, I mean, the boots are beautiful.
Look at the flowers on the boots. That's a Toreador boot.
I mean, I don't agree.
I was a fool.
I do not agree, because I believe that the same boots would look the same beautiful on the Nosferatu and the Bruja. So that's completely fine. But I did get the tweet somewhere earlier this week, which I didn't reply to actually because someone else was faster. But someone asked me, can Toreadors be shy? Yes, they can be shy.
Yes,
can they be ugly? They can be ugly. They can be unfashionable. They can be completely uncool. There's, various ways to play every single character, and I can totally see a super badass masculine Toreador that this character is, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, we're looking at one right here.
Yeah, beautiful. I love the hair, I love the tattoos, I love the outfit. There's a really cool design here on the pants, which I would wear those pants.
Yeah, those are great pants.
And now
I'd have to have the tattoos to match, or I just wouldn't feel like it doing the pants justice.
Yeah, you need to have a tattoos in order to like really, really rock these pants. And we have Julia's mediocre art corner, completely untrue, by the way, but
Yeah.
yes, let's go. What do we have in there?
So this is, of course, the more traditional Bruja,
Hmm.
which I love. And it says, listen, we're doing more VTM characters, and no, you can't stop me, which is, no one wants to stop you, I promise.
No one.
And this is just a Bruja flipping off, a camera or flipping off the audience. They have the great shave and the just such a traditional Bruja outfit with the baseball bat. I could see this character in Bloodhunt right now.
Yes.
So I loved it. I was like, gotta throw that up there.
Honestly, I do not mind people tapping completely into stereotypes of clans, especially when they just want to, like, they are aware of the fact, hey, I want to play the most stereotypical Bruja I've ever seen in forever, and these characters can also be super fun and deep to play. So there's like no issue with that, and I love that, and the flipping finger is great.
Yeah.
All right, let's go down to row 2.
These are yours.
These are mine. I want to start with LG Mysteria because I've just been in absolute love of the usage of the mood boards and the color mood boards which we've posted back in the days. They still give us wonderful effects of community using them in various ways, like making some fan art and makeup. In this particular case, LG Mysteria is doing makeup based on the mood boards, and we have Tremere and Venture already, which is just beautiful. So good.
I love the Venture. I remember when you were first making them, and I said, how dare you make me like the Venture palette the most?
I know. That's the thing, right? Now, I love them. I cannot wait for them to check out the next ones. I'm especially interested in how Malkavian is going to look like in makeup, because I think it's a pretty cool palette to do some crazy eyeshadow stuff.
That's a groovy palette, yeah.
Yes, so groovy. It has some 60s feeling to it for some reason when I look at it.
That's the impression I got, yeah.
Yeah. Next one is a tweet which I found randomly on Twitter, and I just love that. Reading Vampire the Masquerade for the first time for my first Vampire the Masquerade game. Hey, I'm starting to think being a sexy vampire comes with some fucking problems.
I first saw this tweet when Justin retweeted it, and
Yes.
I was just like, oh, it's so perfect. It's so perfect.
It's great, and it's true. Like I guess a lot of people began their interest in Vampire the Masquerade because of this powerful, super cool, sexy vampire fantasy that you can realize while role-playing a vampire, right? It's the first thing that comes to mind after you watch Interview with the Vampire or Underworld or True Bloods. You just want to be a cool, sexy vampire, right? And then you go...
Maybe on the surface if you're not really looking too deep into what's going on.
Yeah,
but sure.
And then you look deeper and it's like, oh, okay. So it's actually not that easy and simple. Which is
Who
great.
would have thunk?
Who would have thought? Yeah. And the next one is something that actually it's a tweet from like 2 years ago, so it's pretty old. But I haven't actually. I think I didn't notice it beforehand. It was under my thread in which I explained how stains are working in Vampire the Masquerade.
Oh yeah, I saw you reposted it.
Yeah, I reposted it because someone randomly found it today. And I was like, hey, it was actually a pretty concise thread about how to use, exactly use stains and how stains work in V5 system. And I found this comment and I found it super insightful because it is true that how it works in practice is, of course, when you are high humanity and you get a stain, you get a very big risk of dropping down. But when you are low on humanity and you get a stain, for example, for murdering someone, bleeding someone dry, you do not get that much of a chance of dropping. You get way less chance. And some people may interpret
because you have more dice to roll.
Yes, exactly. You get like 6 dice, for example.
Yeah.
And when you roll that, you just need 1 success in order to progress and to not lose humanity. So it may feel like lower humanity vamps must feel more bad because they have higher success rate, like they pass the remorse. But I love this phrase in this tweet. Are we the baddies? And I feel like the remorse check for humanities is the ultimate are we the baddies of Vampire the Masquerade. If you are super high humanity, you do something very bad, your question that you ask yourself, am I the baddie? Like the answer is pretty much yes, I am. and you drop down. But when you are lower on humanity and you just drain some human dry, that doesn't really matter that much. Are we the baddies? No, we just need to do it to survive, right?
Well, it's really the question of when you're a higher humanity, you will ask yourself that question, am I the bad guy?
Yeah.
When you're a lower humanity, you're not really going to ask yourself the question at all.
I think like a very good metaphor of that to imagine the roleplay when you're using this mechanic is when you are low on humanity, it is basically way harder for you yourself to be disgusted by your actions.
Yes, exactly.
So
Exactly.
only when you are disgusted by what you did in character, then you can drop humanity lower. And that's why it's kind of hard to become a white in V5, because you do have a lot of dice when you are this low, but it is still possible. All right, and then we have a really nice Nosferatu I found, which I want to post because
Gorgeous.
I know that you like bald Nosferatu. I know that you like pointy ears Nosferatu, so it's a gift for you.
My favorite. I love it.
No,
I love the pin on the cowl. Is that a pin, you think?
it is really, really nice. I feel like it's a pin. It kind of looks like Optimus Prime for some reason.
A little bit, yeah.
If it is, then I think that it's cool to still have your nerdy hobbies when you're a vampire.
Oh, for sure.
And it will be really cool.
I would have more time for my nerdy hobbies if I was a vampire.
I mean, more in general, but less per night, because ultimately nights are quite short sometimes, depending on where you live. If you live in Stockholm, it's probably quite okay. All right, and let's check out Storyteller's Vault. What's happening on Storyteller's Vault?
Okay, so I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, I showed Lore Sheet by Fuzz, and I wouldn't know how to pronounce that name properly, so I'm just going to call them Fuzz, but you can see their name on the cover, because they shared it in the Discord, and I took it upon myself to encourage them to, release it onto Storyteller's Vault, and they made a whole bunch of lore sheets revolving around Los Angeles and LA by night. And I was lucky enough, they handed me a few in the Discord in private so I could look at them. And they have some for the last round, which is of course where Nines Rodriguez is.
Perfect.
With his coterie.
This is so cool.
Yeah, and I thought it was really cool because you have a mention of Damsel, you have Helter Skelter, which of course Skelter is one of the his buddies.
Yes.
Gangrel, I think. I actually can't remember. And my favorite is the last one, is that you get a lupine status against lupine, or lupines don't like you, lupine flaw, infamy lupine flaw.
This is so good because of Nines Rodriguez and of his famous battle with the werewolf. That's so cool.
Yeah, that made me really happy to see that.
I love it. I really need to get this one because ultimately LA is my favorite setting for VTM for obvious reasons, and I just want to learn more about what players came up with.
And so then the Weird Sisters one's really cool because, and my favorite one, Weird Sisters Coterie is a coterie of Tremere in LA by night. And Special K is my favorite one here, which is the youngest of them, Kyoko.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, you get to go out with her, but they mention that she's a master of pyromancy and her aim isn't very good, which is canon to what happens in the show.
Yes.
And you have to bring her home 3 hours before sunrise, or Hester, who's the leader, will be mad. And I just thought that's so good. I mean, how useful it would be to take a Tremere who can use Palm of Flame, how useful that might be. But you're on a time frame. It's like some sort of timed quest or something. I really enjoyed that.
I've never seen lore sheets being used as time quests, but I think it's really interesting. Of course, whenever you use something like that, please do discuss with your storyteller so they can make sure that this is included in the gameplay in some way. In general, lore sheets are always great to be discussed with the storytellers before you pick them, to make sure that they can be incorporated in some meaningful way into the roleplay. But I think it's pretty cool. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, I thought it was very nicely done, well-rounded, and you should check it out.
And then we have a video from Guillermo Mendez. Let's check it out. Introduction.
Could you ever just drop everything? Your family, work, friends, life? It is not easy, believe me, I know. But it does get better. With every single night, you become stronger, more independent, more you. The more you're alone, the more you realize that you don't need jack shit from them. And it's not like I don't care. I do. Just not about any of you. That's why I'm not taking any of you with me. It's because I care. And now, do us all a favor and fuck off, you fungus piece of shit.
It's a very gangrel to me.
Yeah, it reminds me very much of oh no,
It
Jack.
is-
Yeah, there we go. That's the name.
It is a gangrel video. That's interesting. Do they have more clan videos?
Yes, they have Gangrel. They have Nosferatu. I think Bruja's the other one that they have
Nice.
so far, anyway.
I really like the voice acting. I think it was pretty nice.
So that's Game Master Virtuoso, and they are working on making these sort of animated. I'm not sure exactly how you would categorize it. Animated visual novel videos.
Animated comic, like a visual. I guess animated graphic novels. Yes.
Sure. I wasn't really sure how to categorize it, but
Yeah.
there's a few. They have a few up there now, and they made a tweet recently that they're working on more, and I thought it was pretty neat.
That's cool. I like it.
Mhm.
And what do we have for LA by night?
Of course, Valentine's related stuff.
Yes. Beautiful.
Of course. So this first one is gorgeous, and I'm just gonna say, if you know, you know.
If I
And
know,
I don't.
I do. Yes, absolutely.
I don't want to explain the picture. If you know, you know.
Yes.
But the the words, the description is nice. Oh, sugar, you came to me. Could all be a bad thing and do you harm.
Oh, that's great. I'm not super happy with this, but I can't keep working on it. How can you not
feel
be
like
happy
you would
with this?
I feel like you would relate to that comment.
I can. Yeah, I mean that is a reality for every single artist out there. This comment down below. Beautiful, but I am very much into this cute ass ugly king that we stand.
We stand, yeah, again, because I was just inundated with Valentine's related stuff. I was just like, I have to sort this out somehow. So we're going by description. What catches my eye, what makes me laugh.
Yeah.
And so we stand an ugly king. So perfect.
Happy birthday, Alexandra Ward, if you're watching this. We love you, and the community loves you too, as you can see. And this is cute.
I mean, that's the most adorable Jasper I think we've ever showed up.
Yeah.
On here.
Like, how can you, like, ever say no to this face? Like, I would never say no.
I couldn't.
No.
And ugly is obviously being used ironically.
Of course, as always with Jasper. Eleven Night Fanart made last year for Alexander Ward's birthday. Jasper and Eva. Oh, look at them. They're so cute.
Yeah, I know. Just sitting in the library.
I want
So
everything the
sweet.
best for them, but they cannot ever get everything the best.
It's a Vampire the Masquerade game. That's asking a whole lot. But I did want to point out one thing about the picture. If you look in one of the shelves, the shelf with the like statue and the blue vial,
Yeah.
all the way at the end, you might recognize a book.
All of the end.
You zoom way in.
Oh, there's Twilight!
I did want to point that out too.
Perfect. No. Honestly, the older I get, the more I become Robert Pattinson. And basically, like, I recall the Twilight times because I was too old for Twilight, so I was definitely not the target audience. But when Twilight happened, I was, back in the days, I was like, how old? 20 or something, 20 something. I was very much like, this is so bad. This is not real vampires, sparkling vampires. What is this? But nowadays, I'm like, you know what? It had its fans. It had its fandom. The fandom right now grew, and they are into Vampire the Masquerade, and they're into like more adult and mature stuff, which is totally fine. And as long as you can see that the relationships portrayed in Twilight are very toxic and they're not to be recreated in real life, it's not a good idea. I think it's still an enjoyable piece of media. It's entertaining. I watched all of the movies and I actually read the books, which I did suffer through some of the fragments, but I definitely don't judge people who liked it back in the days,
No, I definitely don't either. And it seems to have a resurgence because there's a lot of people people watching it now, and a lot of people come in through Vampire the Masquerade that way, just searching for other vampire media.
Yes, and I welcome them with open arms. It's okay. It's fine. You know, all of us, I was a very big Harry Potter maniac when I was a teenager, and that's fine. And if you were into Twilight, it's totally cool too. And I'm happy to welcome these people into Vampire. We do not have sparkling vampires though, unless you specifically take some glitter from a store and sparkle it all over your Nosferatu. That's the only way you can do that, possibly.
But of course, if you're playing a game with your friends and you want your vampires to sparkle, go for it.
Oh, actually, you can sparkle with vicissitude, I think. You can technically do that.
Is that so?
And you can technically do that
wonderful.
with Profane Heroes Gamers as well. So for your Finnbloods, Finnblood can actually do, like, no, maybe not. I'm not going to lie to you mechanically here because Karim is going to kill me, but vicissitude should be able to do that. So yeah, you can sparkle. It's fine.
Mechanics and lore aside, if you want to play sparkly vampires, if you want to play What We Do in the Shadows type vampires, where they're
Yes.
literally being followed around with a camera mockumentary, that is your table.
Yes, and we allow all of that. It's totally cool. It's totally fun. Also, I might have had a slight crush on Alice from Twilight. I just, putting it out.
Oh,
there.
Alice?
So, Alice,
Okay.
yes. Come on.
I never was into Twilight and I was never into Harry Potter, so I'm not going to be able to
Oh
participate here.
no! Oh no! I'm telling you, Alice is great. All right,
Okay.
that's it. I think for our week from the Vamily, but that was really nice. Thank you so much, Hadi, for dropping so much stuff in there.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and I hope to see you next week, and of course to see you as soon as we're going to have a Bloodhunt playtest going to just either play with us or chat with us and watch us playing, because I cannot wait.
Oh yeah, I'm down.
Cannot wait. All right, thank you so much, Hadi. See you later.
Bye.
And I'm going to quickly go back to the main screen. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We're going to do a little Q&A section in just a bit here on Twitch live, but if you are watching us on YouTube, I would like to thank you very much for watching today. We did announce Vampire the Masquerade Milan Uprising, as well as we had some more news. If you want to tune in next time live, then do please go to our Twitch channel and make sure to check out Vampire the Masquerade music playlist, the brand new one, which was just launched on YouTube. And see you later.